lenses through which to see other people and then also to judge yourself, you will be significantly better off and you will move far more rapidly towards the goals that you want to achieve. Two traits have to do one with and the other with. And so one of the things that's interesting about this is the concept of measuring sticks.
미국의 1000억대 사업가이자 비즈니스 인플루언서인 알렉스홀모지가 최근에 약 6천억의 사업체를 매각한 그의 지인과 성공하는 사람의 특성에 대한 심도 깊은 대화를 나누며 얻은 인사이트를 공유합니다. 수많은 비즈니스 경험 그리고 전 세계에 성공한 많은 사람들과 인간관계를 맺고 있는 사업가들은 도대체 어떤 기준으로 성공하는 사람을 미리 알 수 있을까요? 그리고 우리는 어떻게 그 방법을 적용해서 성공할 수 있을까요? 어디에서도 들을 수 없는 엄청난 인사이트가 들어간 그들의 대화를 엿들어 보겠습니다.
First thing you can do in terms of identifying in other people and then also within yourself is what unit of measurement do they use? A lot of us have these base units that we measure things in, and it's kind of like shorthand that you use in your brain. And so I'll give you a simple example. So when I was in high school, I used to measure, how much money something was by the amount of Chipotle burritos I could buy. And because I used Chipotle burritos because it was an understandable quantity of value for me. And so everything was like, how many Chipotle burritos is this? And that was because that was the amount of money that I was making, and that was a material amount of value for me at the time. The bigger the people that you hang around with, the bigger the unit of money that they will measure things in terms of base units. And so for you, over time, you want to increase what that base unit looks like. So you want to start measuring things like how many 10K units there are, how many cars is this, how many houses is this, how many businesses is this. So the bigger the unit of measurement they're using for money, likely the wealthier they are and the wealthier they become because they only will participate in activities that can be measured in those units. And so if you can hang around people whose base unit of measurement around money is far greater than yours, then you will start chunking up and thinking about money in those greater terms. Number two is measurements around time. And so this is, has an interesting kind of part A and part B to it. So part A is that they, on a micro scale, within day to day, they're going to act faster, they're going to be better utilizers of their time in general. And on the micro side, it's just about speed. It's about execution speed. If you start interacting with somebody and their speed of communication is rapid in terms of their turnaround time, in terms of when they communicate with you, in terms of how they respond to things, you can be sure that that person is far more active. And I'll give you a reason for why people move forward so much faster in life when they have that. You're trying to get something done, right? And let's say that you message someone and then, they wait a day and they message you back, and then you wait a day and you message them back, and then let's say it takes 5 interactions like this to get this project done. And so that would be 10 days. Now imagine a different scenario where you have two people who are wealthier in terms of how they manage their time. It dramatically compresses the time to achieve the result. And then this is where it gets interesting. Now after that 30 minutes, let's say they do that again and again and again and again. In a very real way, they will have accomplished more, literally in a day, than other people will try and accomplish in a month or more, right? And this is how you compress time and you can drag your future into the present by increasing the speed with which you take action and you communicate with other people. On the macros perspective, it's when people are talking about decades and not days, right? And so you can tell how wealthy someone is by their perspective on time in terms of how long they're willing to wait to see something through. And so this is kind of like a very extrapolated version of the marshmallow test. And if you've never heard of that, it's a pretty famous test where they have 2 kids and they said, hey, you can have a marshmallow now, or I can give you 2 marshmallows in a few minutes. And the kids who said, I want the marshmallow now, and couldn't use the self-restraint or self-control were significantly less wealthy, less successful later in their lives compared to the kids who could wait for the second marshmallow, right? And I can guarantee that the person who had the furthest out date of when they were willing to restrain themselves would be significantly more successful. And that is because impulse control or self-restraint is one of the key drivers of success, because you can see where you're trying to go, and it takes, from a macro perspective, a long time to build amazing things, right? Rome wasn't built in a day, which is a quote that is said all the time, but people don't actually live by it.
오늘 내용을 요약해 보겠습니다. 성공을 미리 알 수 있는 첫 번째 요소, 가치를 측정하는 최소 단위의 크기. 두 번째 요소, 시간 측정에 대한 2가지 관점. 단기적인 관점에서 하루를 최대한 작게 나눔으로써 실행 속도를 높인다. 그리고 장기적인 관점에서 자제력을 가지고 오랜 시간 전진한다. 여러분들 어떠셨나요? 저는 짧지만 성공에 필요한 핵심이 모두 들어가 있다는 생각을 했는데요. 특히나 개인적으로 제 지인 중에 3년 만에 소득이 10배 이상 증가하면서 큰 성장을 하신 분이 계신데, 성공하기 전부터 앞에서 홀모지가 말한 특성들이 나타나서 정말 많은 공감을 하면서 들었습니다. 그 지인에 대해서 얘기를 조금 더 해보자면, 그 지인의 경우 일이 잘 풀리기도 전에 하루를 1시간 단위로 쪼개서 사용하고, 특히 시간을 아끼기 위해서 대중교통이 아니라 택시를 이용하는 경우가 점점 많아졌습니다. 그리고 업무에 필요한 의사소통을 할 때는 시간을 줄이기 위해서 이메일이나 카톡 메시지가 아니라 대부분을 음성 메시지를 활용하는 걸 봤습니다. 그리고 3년간 성과가 없었지만 포기하지 않은 걸 보면 두 번째 마시멜로를 받기 위해서 스스로 자제력을 발휘했던 건 말할 필요도 없을 것 같습니다. 이 영상을 보시는 분들이 성공하는 사람의 렌즈를 통해서 세상을 더 크게 바라보고 지금처럼 꾸준히 행동해 나가신다면 성공을 못하는 게 오히려 더 어려운 그런 여러분들이 되어 있을 것이라고 생각합니다. 오늘 영상도 끝까지 시청해주셔서 감사합니다. 다음 영상에서 1.5배 더 유익한 영상으로 찾아오겠습니다.